So Jimmy Butler is genuinely in this whole scenario. He's just going out sad. And I mean that. Like, look, I'll always say this. Jimmy Butler is one of the best players in Heat history. Like, you're not going to ever hear me say anything other than that. Jimmy Butler is one of the greatest players to ever put on a Miami Heat uniform. And I think there is nobody that would deny it. But he's going out absolutely sad. And look, as I've always said, you can think the Heat are wrong in certain situations. Jimmy Butler is very wrong, and his agent is just talking nonsense, it seems. His agent seems to be talking nonsense. Like, again, this could all be true, and this is all he said, she said. But, like, every single reason is like, first of all, it was about, oh, you didn't get me any, like, superstar players. And then it was, oh, you didn't get me superstar players. Then it's, oh, you didn't keep my friends. And then it's, the reality of the situation is like, it's probably the fact that the team, not that they sided with Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo over Jimmy, but they prioritized winning with them rather than winning immediately. Because the reality is that when you've got Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, you've got those two players, you've got a good culture, and you can add, when Jimmy's done, if you can keep adding some pieces like a Ware, like a Jovic, like a Jaquez, then maybe you're one piece away. Then, when those players improve, from being a potential championship team in 3, 4, 5 years down the line, because in 4 or 5 years down the line, the Oklahoma City Thunder are screwed because they can't pay everybody. The Celtics are screwed because their players are old and they're in the second apron. Like, a lot of these teams that teams are looking at right now, there is no trade that he can make right now that will make them contenders. But what they can do is prep for 2, 3, 4 years instead of tanking and trying to be good. The reality is Jimmy's obviously pissed at that. And fair enough. And look, I don't think the Heat are right as well. But anyway, supposedly with this, Jimmy Butler claimed that there was an accounting error that left him without a paycheck for a week. So he got paid a week late. Like, according to the Heat, it was a bank issue. And obviously, like, look, if there is a bank issue, we know. If he's getting paid, let's just say hypothetically, I think they get paid by the month or something. They might get paid monthly. He's getting paid, like, what, $5 million a month? I'm sorry, if there's any sort of an issue with the bank, it will take a while to clear a $5 million deposit into a bank account. Of course it would. And again, like, I don't think the guy's living paycheck to paycheck. As much as he is paying in child support, it's $50K a month of the $5 million, even if 50% of that goes into tax. Like, he's Jimmy Butler. And obviously, look, it's something that would kind of piss you off. But imagine, he has been a player of this team for 6 years. And imagine going to the media and saying, in 6 years, they were late with one payment, so they obviously don't respect me. And I'm like, and then the team just comes back and says, oh, it was the bank. And then it says here the contract extension is at the heat of Jimmy Butler disagreement. It's obviously the contract extension because he's not going anywhere but Phoenix. He's not going to Milwaukee. He's not going to Memphis. It's not about winning. He literally wants to go to Phoenix. And by the way, he's now complaining about his role in the offense. His role in the Phoenix offense would literally be watch Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. That's what his role would be in the Phoenix offense. It's never been about that. So basically, what the Miami Heat wanted to do was Jimmy Butler never doesn't play in the regular season. Like, that's a given. Jimmy Butler does not play in the regular season. So Jimmy Butler felt like I did my job, or at least my job is now. He said he scored 9 points. Spent most of the game standing in the corner of the offensive end, shooting 3 of 6 and 2 free throws. It can be my role here, but that's not what I'm used to. It hasn't been since first, second, third year. And obviously the Heat are trying to win. That's what the Heat are trying to do. So the Heat are there trying to win. They're talking about winning. And literally, their whole reasoning for Jimmy Butler not being the sole focus of the offense is that Jimmy Butler doesn't play that many games. That was it. That was literally their logic. Is like, we don't want to be over-reliant on you because you don't play that many games. You've had some injuries. You miss a lot of games. And then last year, when we went into the playoffs against the Boston Celtics, we had no offense because you weren't playing. And also, the fact is that he was also complaining about the team running too much zone. The only reason the team made the 2020 NBA Finals is because they played that 2-3 zone where they had their two Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero at the back, where their job was literally to sprint people off the 3-point line and send them into Bam Adebayo. That's the only reason they made the finals that year. So the zone, that weird 2-3 zone has worked. Sometimes zones work, sometimes they don't. But like if you're Miami, you don't have the personnel with or without Jimmy to go and compete at a high level manning up. So you've got to change some things. The offense running solely through Jimmy didn't work last season because again, he got hurt. He is literally going to, he is like request, and like it's understandable why he's requesting a trade out, by the way. Like, look, the offense isn't where you want. Some other stuff's happening. Like, look, sometimes you just don't want to be there. But like when you are shooting one leg, standing corner threes, sabotaging your team, when you're not showing up to shoot arounds, when you're saying you're sick and then being seen out partying, that obviously, especially for an organization like Miami, for the Miami Heat, you're never getting away with that. And look, you can criticize Pat Riley all you want, but he is the only GM that does not let his superstars do whatever they want. Like you're looking at the Phoenix Suns, the team that he wants to go to. Do you want to know why he wants to go to Phoenix Suns? Because their GM's an idiot. That's simply put. Not even their GM, their owner's an idiot who overrules every basketball decision. The owner is dumb. So the owner's dumb enough to pay him a 2-year, $60 million a year deal. $120 million. There's 120 million reasons why he's going to Phoenix. Phoenix are the only team willing to extend him on a 2-year max. That's it. It's the only reason why he wants to go to Phoenix. And that's fine. That's fine. But everybody calling it Pat Riley being like, this is how you, this is why superstars don't want to go there. And it's like, man, Jimmy Butler, I'm not joking when I say this, had no teams looking for him in 2019. People don't realize that. He went to the Sixers for Dario Saric and Robert Covington. That's what the Sixers had to give up for him. They had to give up nothing. Jimmy Butler was a toxic asset. The Sixers, do you want to know what the Sixers got in a sign and trade for Jimmy Butler? Josh Richardson. They got Josh Richardson. It wasn't like there was a whole bunch of teams queuing up for Jimmy Butler in 2019. Jimmy Butler's reputation became tenfold because he's in Miami. If you go to Miami, you are going to probably get overpaid. Players going to Miami, playing well in their system because you've got the best coach in the NBA. You got the best culture in the NBA. You got the best freaking executive run the show in the NBA. The Heat can make a 5 out of 10 player look like a 7 out of 10 player, and you go and get paid like a 7 out of 10. Superstars don't want to play for Pat Riley. Of course they wouldn't. Because any other organization you go to, other than maybe like a Golden State, but that's just a Steph Curry show, they will let the superstars do what they want. They will. They will make you, you have to do whatever a superstar wants. If you go to any of the LA places, if you go to Boston's maybe a little bit different because they don't have a true superstar, but like any superstar, any player that wants to win, if they believe that they are good enough and they want to win, and you want a bunch of guys around you that you know are going to give 100% every single night. You guys know are going to play defense. They're going to fight. They're going to try to win every night. You're playing for one of the best coaches, and you know that they're not going to tank. If you don't want to be around that, you go to Miami. Miami, the ship will never sink as long as Pat Riley's there. And I'm just saying, when Pat Riley goes, there's a guy named Eric Spoelstra who's going to take over from Pat Riley. Hire a new coach, a mini-me, and it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep going because the Miami Heat are one of the actual proper franchises left. They're not just a name on the front of a jersey that a superstar might go to, demand you trade every single thing to make the 3 or 4 years they're there even better than they would be otherwise, and they don't care afterwards. No. When you've got Pat Riley, when you've got Spoelstra, heck, when you've got Pop for Spurs, it's all about the long term. Because these superstars only think short term, especially in their late 30s. They only care about the 2-3 years, how to maximize their money and maybe maximize a ring. And in Jimmy Butler's case, solely maximizing money. The reality of the situation is that Pat Riley's job and Spoelstra's job is to make sure the Heat keep taking over 20, 30 years and giving in to the needs of your aging, not really playing, injury prone star who's doesn't have that much trade value is not the way to do it. So I'll see you guys.